Did I remove the whole window? Yes, I did. I don't know if you remember, but I said I was going to steal one of these out of the side window to work on the little above the bay window that has that little balcony, and then I was going to replace and fashion a new window for the bottom of the window itself that didn't lead out to anything. Well, that's what I'm gonna do. And it turns out that the interior of the window came off really easy. So I'm wondering if for at least the three windows that are shaped like this, or windows / doors, because 2 of them work as doors, if I shouldn't just pull the glass out and make new glass. I'd love to do it for these little guys right here, but I don't want to go too crazy and rip everything out. I mean, I do and I don't, because I just can't decide. So I think I'm going to experiment with the one that I have for now and see how well it cleans up. I want to get all that off the back. I'll experiment with this one that I have out and see what a pain in the butt it's going to be. And if it's going to be a huge pain, then yeah, I will just leave the other ones intact. I thought about if I left these in, maybe doing like I normally do my stained glass and coloring them while they were in the wall with my alcohol markers, and then getting some gallery glass, the leading, and try very carefully to just go over the existing white marks. But you'll notice it'd be kind of hard to get, well, I think I could get to the bottom of this pane. I should be able to. It's just a matter of working from the interior and trying to work with a steady hand as opposed to having it flat on the table in front of me. That's my concern. I don't know. I have not decided. So as I said, I'm gonna play around with the one that's out, get it kind of cleaned up, and then make a decision. I really don't want to take the door off just to redo the glass. Yeah, I don't know. I'll be back once I make some decisions. I'm really indecisive right now. So suggestions would be welcome. Okay, so I ended up taking the doors out over there too. Oh, and this guy's gonna have to come out because that's the one that's missing the window pane. So I'm gonna have to make a new window pane anyway. And if I'm gonna do those windows, then I may as well take these off as well. Still haven't decided about the doors. Don't know if I want to mess with the transom and all that, and I'm afraid I'm gonna break. I'm just afraid I'm gonna break something over there, but I'd really like to do some stained glass in there. And I just don't think I can do it when it's attached, so I'm gonna go make some dinner and think on that. Screw it, we're going for it. I'm never gonna get the windows to look the way I want them to unless I take them out. And yes, it's a pain in the ass, and yes, I have to be careful, and yes, I've broken at least one part of every single one of the larger windows. But you know what? It's okay. I can glue them, I can paint them, and if I have to look at the white on those windows, I'm never going to be happy with it. So we're just going to go for it. I'm just going to try to be really careful on these up here. I'm trying to not take off the outsides, just the inside. Or maybe I should take the outside off of these windows because I can get to it easier. I just need either one or the other side just so I can pop the panes out. So, yep, we're doing it. Whew, with the help of my trusty little hairdryer and some various tools, I managed to get all the windows out and even the front door. So I've got all of these that I can redo however I would like without the white. Yes, it was a pain in the ass. Yes, I've got some damage, but it's nothing that I can't repair. And I just know, I know myself. And I know that, yes, I still have to pry out, you know, some pieces of wood. But I know myself, and I know I would have gotten this whole freaking house done. And I would have been staring at this stupid white here, and it would have just been driving me crazy. So I'm not in a hurry. I mean, to finish this thing, I can take as long as I want. And if I need to rebuild some window frames, I'm cool with that. As long as I can get it how I want it to look. This is my putz around all winter project. So, you know, I think I'm going to call it quits for tonight because that was really incredibly frustrating, and I just really wanted to get them out. I might take a little bit longer and pry all the panes out of there and all of these. I haven't decided if I'm just going to, for this weird window over here, if I'm just going to make a mock window that doesn't open, which is probably what I will end up doing because I really don't need it to open. I haven't decided yet. We'll see. We'll see how much trouble these give me when I take them apart to get the glass out. And if I end up breaking a couple, then you know what? I'm going to have to make one more of these anyway. So I might just, you know, we'll see. I might end up making more than one. Anyway, yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm just going to take some glass out of these little frames and call it a night. I'm going to try to remember I ripped all the windows and all the frames out. So I'm trying to figure out, you can see they weren't too yellow. The one, I don't know which way, they must have had a certain, you know, one side in the sun more than others, but that one's quite yellow. But yeah, I'm going to bust out some graph paper and I'm going to take inventory of what I have and what I need to make. Got a bunch of plastic from packaging that I plan on recycling, which is hidden under my desk. But I think I'm going to recruit my Cricut and do some stained glass. I picked up some more black vinyl. I'm thinking, you know, maybe something cute and leafy. I don't know what that was. I've got stuff falling down all over. You know, something cute for the transom. I don't think I'm going to do all the windows, like the bottom part, the piece that opens, the bottom pane. I might just something similar to this, perhaps. Maybe like a little diamond in the corners. I'm not real sure, but my first step is going to be to just trace one of each out and then count how many I will need of each style. And then, at least for the square ones like this, I can just plug the dimensions right into my design space for my Cricut Maker. So that should be fairly easy. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to trace all these out on some graph paper and just kind of see where I'm at. Okay, this is what I've done. I have just taken them all and traced them and labeled them and put how many I will need of each and added in what I was missing. As far as the one door that I'm stealing one of the panels from, I'm going to have to create a new lower part. So I will have to go in and I will measure that. Because remember, there's that one door that that opens onto nothing, but I was going to steal that lower portion and put it on the door that goes out onto the little balcony, the little terrace there. So the one that I'm stealing from, I need to come up with a bottom piece, but I'm going to go over to the big table where my dollhouse is right now, and I'm going to start sanding all the individual pieces, all the frames that I removed, and kind of see how they're looking and how much I'm going to have to mess with them. Yeah, I had planned, as it stands now, I plan on going in and making my leaded lines for my panes out of vinyl and cut them on my Cricut, but just in case I get a little crazy, I also picked up some gallery glass leading when I was at Hobby Lobby this morning, so got that as a backup or an alternate, or you know, just to kind of play around with. I've never used it before, but I've seen a lot of people do it. I prefer to make my stained glass with my alcohol markers, and I've done pinstriping, or like I said, the Cricut vinyl. So and then I coat them with glassy Mod Podge to get the texture that I'm going for. But yes, I'm going to leave these sit here right now. This will be a project for probably not today, as far as working up the designs. Where we've got a busy day tomorrow. So yeah, I'm gonna go over, like I said, I'm gonna go investigate all my window frames that I pried off from the interior, and I will kind of see how they're looking and what I'm gonna need to do to get them back together. So I've literally just, this is all I've been doing since this morning, is just sanding all the pieces I've taken off. Come on. I've sanded a little bit inside, but not a lot. The glue wasn't too bad. I think whoever built this originally, I don't know that they were a practiced builder of dollhouses. Not that I've ever built one myself. This is my first actual dollhouse that I haven't made out of, you know, foam board or cardboard or whatever, that I haven't fashioned myself. But it's like the glue that they used was really odd. It wasn't hot glue, but it wasn't wood glue, and I'm not real sure. I mean, it like kind of dissolved in water, but it also came apart really easy with heat. And the pieces, they didn't really sand them before they put things together either, so I don't know. I mean, it could have just been a rush job, you know, but all the edges were really rough, so that's why I'm going through and I'm sanding them really well now and getting some of this darker finish off of them. And I'm going to, I think I'm going to do all the walls a base coat of like some sort of beigey off-white, And then if I want down the road, I'll have a nice base coat. It'll be primed and ready to go if I wanted to do some bold colors. So that's the game plan as far as the walls are concerned, and I want to get that done before I start putting any of the windows back up, so that I can get way, close to the edges and get the paint on the walls correctly. I also have all of these beams that I'm hoping to make the same color as the door and the window frames and whatnot. And then I think I may have to do the exterior pieces. I thought about maybe doing like a bright green door and, the outside, the piece that faced the exterior, have that green, and then the inside, the warm brown that I want to do the window frames. But then I don't know, because you're gonna see some of the, then I would have to paint the inside of every one of these exterior facing frames on the window, the pieces, the pieces that slide up and down. I'd have to paint one side the green and one side the brown. But because I wanted to work brown into the color scheme on the exterior, I may just say screw it and put the dark brown on the exterior as well, which means I could put the dark brown on the exterior of the door. If any of that makes sense. I can see it in my head, and it makes sense in my head. So I'm gonna carry on. I've got most of the windows. I'm trying to, some of the pieces that I've broken, I've got clamped together with some wood glue. Several of these are broken, and I need to piece those back together as well. I'm just gonna, I think this is the last of the exterior of the trims, windows / door pieces. So I'm gonna finish sanding these up. If I at least get that done today, I'll be stoked. I'll be happy. So hopefully I can get that accomplished. And if I get this done soon enough, then I would like to go through and I want to sand the residue off the walls so that I will be pretty much ready to throw a base coat of whatever I decide onto the walls. And hang on. And I popped into, because conveniently his and hers Home Depot is right next to Hobby Lobby. So hang on just a second. I grabbed some paint samples and I can show you what my vision is for the exterior colors. All right, those are the colors. Now, I've already established that the doors and the window frames will be a darker brown. Although I was thinking I might try some Waverly Antique Wax to get the brown in this color scheme here. Then the cream, actually this is probably similar to what I will put on the interior walls also as a base coat, is that cream. And then I want to do some accents also on the exterior because it has a lot of woodwork and little things that can be painted. And I realized when I was looking online, there's not a lot of photos or videos on this particular house, but I noticed that mine's missing the little corbels on the underneath here and then on the other bay window and a couple other spots. So I'm gonna have to figure out, I don't know if I need to hunt down a piece of trim and make my own. Anyway, yes, there's lots of little things on the exterior that I can paint in the accent colors. I was thinking for the main wall exterior to do like this light green. My kids, I don't know what they're yelling about it there. Happy yelling, so that's all you can ask for as a parent, right? Oh, they're all upside down too. I was going to show you the names of them, but I don't want to flip it. Anyway, I was thinking the lighter green for the base, for the main walls, and then this one, and that one all as accent pieces. My only hesitation on that is I want to do vines and whatnot on the exterior also, and I don't know if that's... I love green, don't get me wrong. It's my favorite color, best color in the world in my opinion. But I don't know that I want super green vines up against the green house. So that's the only thing that's giving me any hesitation whatsoever as far as my color scheme is concerned. Okay. Anyway, I will come back to those at a later date. So, as I said, I'm going to finish sanding, and then I will try to sand the gunk off the walls and get myself set up for a base coat on the walls. Yeah, I've got, oh man, I forgot. I've got all these too. All the trim that had come off. There's so much wallpaper on them. And I tried to scrape it off with my X-Acto, but you know how that works. You end up just whittling away your wood if you don't get it perfect. So I'm just going to have to sand, or I'm just going to have to dig into my tube of square dowels that I've got and just make new ones, which would probably be a heck of a lot easier than trying to clean all these up. So, yes, that too. Okay, back to sanding. There's all my window and door pieces sanded. Some of them are just in pretty rough shape, but I don't want to remake them. I think if I use enough glue and, you know, once I get, because they'll all have windows in them, so they'll be sandwiched together. If I need to use some wood filler on the edges, then I will. I got most of the gunk off the walls, so I think I can go ahead and throw some paint on them soon. And I'm not sure if these pieces are going to stain dark enough, but I don't know. We'll see. That's my word for everything, or my phrase for everything now. Just, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think I'm gonna pop over to my other workstation, and I'm going to take, because the panes that go in there while I traced the acetate, I mean, it's going to be, the opening for the window is actually going to be smaller than that. So I'm going to try to get an actual, I'm going to take this over there, lay this on top of what the acetate is going to, the perimeter of what will be the acetate, the new acetate. I'm going to lay this on top of there. I'm going to trace inside of here, so I know that I can get my design in the smaller section. Hopefully that made sense. But I'm going to do that for all of them. And like this that goes above the doors, I want to make sure that I trace out all of those designs so I can get the design I want within the actual space where the window is going to show through. So I'm going to do that. And then I'll probably, I don't know if that'll be it for this video, and then I will start the next one with the window panes. Not real sure, so I'll see how much video I've got together now. I don't want it to be overly long, so I'll see how things go. We'll see what happens. This is my solution for how I'm going to make my stained glass designs in design space for my Cricut. So I took out the old acetate and I traced around them on my graph paper. It doesn't need to be graph paper. I just wanted, you know, to keep everything squared up at least one corner. Then I put this on a piece of color paper, traced inside that to show what the visible area of the glass will be, so that I can put this on top of there. So then the piece around the pink will be the acetate that gets glued and sandwiched inside the frame. And the pink is what will be visible. That way I can measure on the ones that are square or rectangle or, just regular shapes that I can measure the dimensions of easily enough. I can go ahead and just measure those, throw those dimensions into design space, and then I know that whatever I want to have inside that area, I'll know where it fits. Some of the other ones will be kind of tricky, like this one here, but again, I can do the pink area and I can measure, as long as I link the vertical and the horizontal and link my proportions, then I should be able to measure just from top to bottom, get that measurement in there, scan it, throw it in Photoshop, clean it up a little bit, throw it into design space, and then I should be able to come up with the perfect outline for all the other ones as well. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Anyway, that's the plan. That's what I'm doing right now. I wasn't able to sleep in today as much as I wanted to, so I've been up since about 3, and I decided, hey, why not come down and tape off some woodwork and throw some paint on some walls? So that's what I did. I've got about 3 coats of like a beige color. As I said, I was going to do like a neutral as the base, and then if I decide I want to put some color on the walls, then at least I've got, a good base to work with or work off of. I haven't painted the attic yet, but I will do that also. I was thinking, okay, my goal for this, yes, it's a Victorian house, but that doesn't mean that that's the time period that my characters live in. I'm thinking, yes, she's, a green witch, kitchen witch, and she lives in a Victorian home, but I'm thinking she will have, the electricity, she'll have some semi-modern conveniences. And yes, I know they had those things, but I want her to be a little not so far in the past as that. So yeah, she'll do the whole telephone, but I want it to be dated. So like, I know Ara of Bentley House Minis has some patterns for like an old sink and a Hoosier cabinet and certain things that are from like the 30s and in that time period. I think I might work some of those in because she's got free patterns for them, so I might build some furniture pieces from her patterns and see how they work in here. I want it to be dated, but not as dated, not Victorian, if that makes sense. It's going to be kind of a mishmash of all kinds of things. Hamish in his cottage doesn't have electricity. If you're not familiar with Hamish, he's my little pig doll that lives in the cardboard Tudor style home that I'm also building. So if you haven't checked that out, feel free to do so. It's a home made entirely of cardboard and, recycled materials. Anyway, the resident of this home is going to be friends with Hamish, so they are going to live in the same village, but this home is going to be in the village, whereas Hamish's is out in the country. So it's like the whole country mouse, city mouse, except they're pigs. And the witch isn't going to be, quite as city as that. Anyway, that's my vision. So, picture the Victorian home with some dated, odd collection of furniture, but not necessarily Victorian. So some modern conveniences, semi-modern conveniences. Okay, aside from painting the walls, I also took all of those wood pieces that I had removed, all the windows and all the doors that I had removed and sanded down, and I put a coat of antique wax on them, and we are going out to celebrate. I have another daughter with a birthday. She will have a birthday on Tuesday, so we are going out this weekend as we have work, school, and other things on her actual birthday. So I wanted to get all these done so they can sit while we are gone, and then I can check in on them tomorrow until when I get home from work in the afternoon. And then I will give them a buff if they need to and see how they've come out. I want to take this same color and I plan on using it on the exterior frames also. Except I might put down in these little accent pieces a pop of green, or whatever I decide to use for the accent color, whether it be green or burgundy or the cream color that I had showed you. And I've got all the exterior window and door frames that I'm going to do in this same dark brown. That's about as far as I've got. So I think I'm going to cut this video off here so that it's not incredibly long. And then when I start working on the actual window panes and the designs that's going on the glass, then I will work that into the next video. So that is where I'm at. Thanks for stopping in and checking out this new project of mine. I will get back to Hamish's cottage. I've got a lot to do on that yet. I'm so in love with this house and I see so much potential. So I'm having a hard time pulling myself away from it. So just be patient with me if you're waiting for more cottage updates. But I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks.